The rain poured heavily that night when a small boy named Liam lost everything he had. His parents died in a car accident on a dark, stormy road. He was only 9 years old. After that day, Liam's world turned gray. He moved from one orphanage to another, always carrying a small backpack, the only thing that still reminded him of home. Inside it were 2 items: a photo of his parents, and a note his mother once wrote, "Even when we're gone, keep believing in yourself, my little fighter." He didn't understand those words back then, but one day they would change his life. The orphanage was not a place of comfort. The walls were cold and the food was never enough. Some kids bullied Liam for being quiet, others ignored him. At night he'd stare out the window, whispering, "Mom, Dad, are you proud of me up there?" When other kids played, Liam read old donated books about scientists, inventors, dreamers. He was fascinated by people who turned nothing into something. He often told himself, if they could do it, maybe I can too. But dreams were hard to hold on to when you're hungry and lonely. Still, he studied by the dim light of an old bulb every night. He promised himself that someday he'd build a life that would make his parents proud. When Liam turned 16, the orphanage encouraged him to find work. He got a part-time job cleaning tables in a small cafe downtown. He worked long hours but always smiled. One night, after cleaning, he saw the cafe owner fixing the broken cash register. The man looked frustrated. Liam, curious, asked politely, "Sir, may I try to help?" The owner chuckled. You're just a cleaner." But Liam didn't back down. He had been reading about circuits and mechanics from old books. He carefully checked the wires and, within minutes, fixed the machine. The owner was stunned. "Where did you learn that?" Liam smiled shyly. "From books people threw away." That night, the cafe owner offered him a new role, helping with repairs. It wasn't much, but for Liam, it was the first spark of hope. Years passed. Liam saved every cent he earned. He worked at night, studied online courses during the day, and repaired electronics for neighbors to earn extra income. Sometimes he didn't eat properly, sometimes he slept only 3 hours. But he kept repeating the same words his mother wrote, "Keep believing in yourself, my little fighter." By the time he turned 23, he had enough money to attend a small technical college. Everyone laughed at him, a poor orphan, sitting among young students from rich families. But Liam didn't care. He studied harder than anyone. He built small devices from scrap metal and recycled parts. One of his projects, a low-cost solar lamp made from plastic bottles, caught the attention of his professor. The design was simple but brilliant. It could bring light to poor villages that had no electricity. A local newspaper wrote an article about Liam's invention, "The Orphan Who Brought Light." Soon, organizations reached out to support him. He was invited to speak at a youth innovation conference. Standing on stage, looking at hundreds of faces, Liam's hands trembled. He took a deep breath and began. "When I was a child, I had no light, not in my room, not in my life. But I learned that even in darkness there's always a small spark waiting inside us. And sometimes, that spark is all we need to change the world." The room fell silent. Then, a standing ovation. Liam's solar lamp became a global project. It was distributed to rural areas in more than 20 countries. His invention was saving lives and helping children study at night. Children who, like him, once had nothing. Years later, Liam returned to the orphanage where he grew up. The building looked old and worn out. He walked through the halls, now successful, but tears filled his eyes when he saw the small bed where he once cried himself to sleep. He donated new computers, books, and solar lights to the orphanage. When the children gathered around him, he smiled and said, "I was once one of you, scared, lost and alone. But I learned that being an orphan doesn't mean your story ends in sadness. It means you have the power to write your own beginning." One little boy asked, "Sir, how did you do it?" Liam knelt down and replied, "I just never stopped believing even when no one else did." Today, Liam Carter is a world-renowned inventor and philanthropist. He travels around the world, speaking to young people about resilience, education, and hope. His foundation, the Little Fighter Project, provides scholarships for orphans and underprivileged students who want to study science and engineering. In his office, on the wall behind his desk, hangs a single framed note, the same note his mother wrote years ago. "Even when we're gone, keep believing in yourself, my little fighter." He often looks at it before giving a speech or starting a new project, and whispers, "I made it. Mom, I kept believing." Liam's story reminds us all that no matter where we start, we can rise above it. Pain can break you or build you, and sometimes, the smallest spark of faith can light an entire world. So if you're listening to this tonight, no matter how dark your life feels, no matter how many times you've fallen, remember Liam. Remember the boy who refused to give up because maybe, just maybe, you are the next story that will inspire the world.